Yes. Hey. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this artist talk here at WERC Studio. My name is Florian Weigel, and I've been invited to moderate the conversation. I was gonna start with saying later I'll be joined by Adrien, but luckily we're here together. So I work as curator at V2 in Rotterdam, the Lab for the Unstable Media, and yeah, I'm very happy to be invited for this interview. What's interesting about my position there is that usually the curator indeed puts together a group or thematic exhibitions, but in our case, our core is developing work with artists. So we have a lab to develop works, and I'm also very connected to right away from the early ideas, early sketches on napkins, even in or beer coasters in the bar, to trying it out, to developing it, and to present it in our space or internationally. And that's also what I bring to this conversation. To really unpack what practice is about and how it's functioning. So I'm looking very much forward.
Yes. Shall I give a short introduction about
Yes,
about why we are here, and also why we invited Adrien? Because well, I think Artist Talks. I think most people know why we do this. We do this twice a year now, and we do it basically to get like the big names that we looked up to our entire career and go like, all right, we can learn something from them. And now we have a little bit of a budget to actually bring them to us and to just ask them questions and go like, all right, but why did you make this and how did you make this? So we got the luxury to do this, so we take advantage of this. And the reason we invited Adrien here, and I'm saying your name in different ways because I already said Adrien M, but then realized later, he's French, so it's probably not Adrien. But we have a little bit of a special relationship. It's a one-sided relationship because 14 years ago, we made this work at Noorderzon here. We call it digital foliage. It was this. I think it was our first interactive piece, actually, and people could walk in front of it, and particles would move on trees. And this was made in the software developed by Adrien. Completely his own software. Back then, you could still download it and actually play around with it. No longer, I think, but he'll probably talk about it a little bit more. And later on Noorderzon, his work was actually shown for a longer time, like an actual professional place. And also his installations were there for a while. And it's super inspirational, super playful, but like this is our starting point basically. So it's a luxury and a privilege to have him here right now to say, all right, talk about what this is that we did in 2011. Thanks. I think you can come up or not.
Yes, very practical. There will be a presentation by Adrien, and afterwards we'll go in conversation. So we'll give him the floor.
Thank you so much for this great introduction. I didn't realize that when I published this software 15 years ago, maybe more, someone used it. Because everything was just in my brain, and I thought it was impossible to use this app. So what we are going to see is the process behind everything, and I must present myself as a beginning. Maybe I will read some notes because I'm not used to present it in English, and my English is not as good as I would like. And we will see the path between physical movement and digital projection. This is the way. And please, if you have questions, don't hesitate. Raise hand and talk, and it will help me a lot not to be just on a rail to speak. First, I'm Adrien Mondot, and you pronounce it very well, Adrien. I'm a computer scientist, but also I'm a juggler. And I have to say that I learned, I discovered computer very early. I was 6, not on this photo, but when I discovered computer. And I was absolutely fascinated by a software that is called the Mac Paint. It was the first software of digital drawing that was easy to use. And I spent lots of days and maybe a bit of nights playing with it. Just after, my father made me learn programming with HyperCard, which is one of the first programming language, object-oriented, but it was Smalltalk. And I remember that I had a lot of fun to make animation with paintings in my Mac Paint and playing slides very fast as a HyperCard stack. Okay, it's a bit of geek things, but maybe some of you, the older one, can remember this time. I started to juggle when I started my computer study. I was in math and computer science at the university. And I started to juggle when I had my first earthquake, and I didn't know where to put my hands after this dramatic event. So I took a ball and 2 balls and 3 balls and started to juggle. And it completely changed my life. To make you understand, maybe I just do a short, very short demo that what represents juggling for me. Yes, I cannot have a mic while
Beautiful sound effects.
So this is a crystal ball, and it's called contact juggling. It's about a relationship between an object and a body, and it's all about feeling the weight of a ball. It's tricky to balance. It's a very difficult part, and most people abandon juggling because it's too hard, especially contact juggling. So you see, it's not a trick, it's very heavy. And it changed my life because it gives me a real consideration about the weight of things, how materiality, all the things moves. It's because you apply forces to it. And as a physician and mathematicians, it's always inspire me how things move. How when you see leaves falling from a tree, you see it fall slowly. And I I love to understand what forces are applied and how it moves in the subtle movement. I started to program a software, Emotion, based on this principle, how things move. And I've done many projects for 15 years with my partner, Claire. We were working together to build installation, performance, and we have built some popular show like Pixel, who came to perform here in Groningen. So this is a short presentation of various projects. But in all these projects, the movement is made by physics law. Everything is done live. It's like juggling with pixels, juggling with lights. Some of you have questions? Yes?
Do the projections respond to the movements of the dancers, or is it...
This is the best question ever. Thank you. I love this question.
After your answer.
Okay. This is one of the most important things, and I have to say it now. Yes, but in a way that you don't... But maybe you will find it's a cheat. For a long time, captors have not been very efficient, and I really appreciate to play with human captors. So everything is done live, but with a human operator, working with Wacom tablet or iPads, with his hands to allow to feel the things. Not in the way a captor could feel things. Because when a human is here, it's like digital puppetry. He can move things, the bounds between him and the digital material is algorithm, but it's still puppetry because you can move abstract shape, and you can bring them to life because we can move as if it was real. It's not the dancers, but it is the dancer via the human operator that see him. And the human operator, the digital interpreter, I don't know his real name, but usually it's me. It's really like juggling, but with only lights.
It's like a duet.
It's a duet, exactly. It's like dancing tango. You have to find the common wave, the way you share the wave of things. It's the relationship that is here. It's very hard to do, but when it works, it's a real pleasure because you can do things that sensors won't automatically sense.
Have you ever considered working the other way around, where you have projections that are semi-random and the dancers respond to the projections instead of the other way around?
As a performer on stage, I know that if you have to watch something, your neck is completely blocked, your head is blocked, your eyes are blocked. You have to be free. Yeah. And you don't have. Also, you have to be free with the time, because the time on stage is really different, and magical moments don't happen very often, but when it happens is when you can really transform the space and times around you. And the performer on stage is the only one who knows what is the good time. If he must follow a video, a recorded video, it's like if he's in jail because he has to do things and is always frightened to be late or too early, and it's really not fun. What is fun in life is when you do something and you find something more funny to do and you do it. And you can do this when everything is live. If it's recorded, you're stuck to one idea. And the first idea is not the good idea, the best idea. It's a whole process for creating, to improvise, to try to do different, not to stay in a kind of routine. And this is what live performance can do when it's done with live software. So this is why I built this software, is to do, it's to build a tool that could make improvisation. Maybe I will show you just a few performances. Maybe some of you have already seen them, but this is Pixel. It was created 10 years ago. Oh, I realized there's a problem with the sound. Maybe I will plug better the cable. No. I will unplug it. And I plug it again. So every movement you see is not done with captors, it's done with a human operator. And this is why there's only one dancer moving at a time. But it was important it was done live because there's a scene where there's a dancer with a roller and he cannot do 2 times the same thing. This show is still performing 12 years after. I don't know how it's possible because the computer, I don't know how they work. It's not my company who make this tour. So this is the scene where it was really tricky to follow the roller man. Was doing something different every day. So but I really loved to practice with him because it was so fluid. This show was built with many materials that were coming from my 2 previous work, and I have blended them and arranged them to meet the dance, the hip-hop dance, and work with a choreographer to adapt. Any questions? No? Oh, no, it's not a good... Another project that is very representative of the work is Aqua Alta. It's a 3-step, 3-stage, 3-element project. 1 stage performance, 1 pop-up book that you can watch with your iPhone to see all the scenery that comes live from the page. and a virtual reality experience. It was created in 2019. And it's 3 different ways to see the same story. And what I like about digital art is that it can help you to see invisible things. I like to see this process as multiple layers on reality. This is why I call what we do on stage, it's a kind of augmented reality. We project on transparent screen, and it allows to mix a performer with a projection. It's part of the image. When you project on the ground, it's a bit the same things, because the image is no more image. It's a territory. It can be living elements. It can be many different things, but it's no more an image. It just present a bit of under how it's done. This thing. This is our studio. This is Claire Barden. We have been conceiving all the projects together until 2023, and we first make a storyboard with many ideas. Then we prototype. We try to build from the beginning a prototype that helps us to understand what the technology can help us to do and where we should not go, because it's too complicated, and it's a very difficult part to feel when it's the moment to go somewhere in technology. Claire has mutated her drawing style to adapt to the algorithm of augmented reality. It's her drawing that is a passerelle, a path from reality to virtuality. It's the computer that recognizes the drawing, that can infer the perspective and do all the augmented reality things. After, we have a recorded movement of our 2 performers that were on stage. We always try to find cheap solutions, so I found a very cheap motion capture system in Hong Kong, and it was 10% of the price than for 1 day of renting we could buy the. So we did this and retried, and we managed to do prototype. In order that the forces are correct, we have to build at the good scale the shape of the paper. So when they fall exactly in the same way as the paper is. If you want, after, there's the book there, and you can see a demo, and if you want to offer it, you can also buy it. It's Christmas very soon. And there's 10 scenes that are done like this, and it was a huge amount of work. And we had the feeling that we were inventing a new kind of artwork, because it was a book, but it was part of a cartoon project, but also like if it was animation project, but also live performance project. But what I like most is that everything it's kind of handcrafted. It's very artisanal. Is maybe it's a French word, but it means that it's just done with a few things you try to do, and it's absolutely not an industrial process. We have done performance, but what I like also a lot is when people after the performance come and say, "Oh, how is it to be inside the images? How does it react? Can we try? Can we go on stage? And usually you cannot say, come on stage. So this is why we have done our first try in installation. It's to allow the people, the audience, to go and play with our materials. This is faire corps, which means, I don't know how to translate it, but it means embody. And there's about 15 installations that make a journey through movement. You play with lines, points, letters, and everything reacts. There's mixed techniques. There's projection on transparent screen, but there's also paper ghosts and just simple projection. And what I try to do for each project is that the audience, even all the old people, remember when they were kids and when they get amazed by something. I want to talk to your inner children for each project. Interactive installation is interesting for this because it allows mixed audience. So there's whole family that can come, and you can feel something to almost any members of the family, from the small kids to the parents to the grandparents, because they don't see the same thing and they don't react to the same thing. The children are immediately in the game, they like to play, and but the parents love to watch their child, and the grandparents love to see the whole process. And we have built several installations playing on these relationships between the members of the family, and this is why I like interactive installations. I just make a short break. We are on time, I see. And just to present another part of juggling. This is silicone balls, white balls, and this is why I like so much doing black and white things. Because white is a kind of abstraction. If you feel something with just white points moving, it means that it's the movement of the white points that is expressing something. It's not its colors, because it's not its shape, because it's just a point. And this is what I'm looking for, to express things with movement. Juggling on a small stage is one of the most tricky. So I've been juggling for almost 30 years now, and programming since 40 years. And I just realized today, this afternoon at the hotel, something that I never saw before. When I prepared this slide, I discovered this. It was in HyperCAD, the first software to build. There was a juggler. And I'm just a bit of time, but I take 1 more minute to talk about my next project. It's called Frissions, which means... yes? Thank you. Because I was going to say another word. And maybe I made it. Frissions, and it will be premiered in Paris in May, at Musée d'Orsay, which is a famous place in France. And I just made a beta version last week, but I don't have lots of pictures of it, but I can show you a bit of before the audience came in. So it's in a church. It's a 30-minute installation, but you can go in and go out when you want, or maybe stay more time, for 30 to 40 people. And I wanted to find a way to have really a precise interaction between body and projection for 40 people, and it has been a really tricky part. So we use LiDAR for this, multiple LiDARs as a technology to detect movement. And so this is how it works, what the LiDAR see and how it's connected to the software. And there's about 25 scenes in 30 minutes. Some are really precisely synchronized with music. The audience is also, the installation is also audio reactive, so the sound depends on the movement of the audience. Not always, but some parts. And I like to play with different place where the projection is. Sometimes it's on the walls, sometimes it's on the ground, sometimes it's everywhere. And this is how the piece is written. It's a journey through movement. And my main goal is to make feel the audience that the whole journey on Earth is something amazing, that we are particles. We are particles since we are born. There's many particles that are gathered. It's carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and azote. Azote, it's not maybe a French name, but the 4 components of life. And all these atoms have been built in stars for many years, and they gather to bring us to life, and after they will go away. And I think that when you realize this, it's always more funny to find to be alive. So this is the goal. And I will finish this introduction. No, it's no more an introduction, but by maybe a last trick. Simplicity is always also something we lose in mind when we build some project with technology. So this is a piece of paper to roll a cigarette. Can do something else. and it's just a movement that will make it roll. Thanks. So we can go to the serious part.
Wow, thank you. This is. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gathering the thoughts because I, of course, during your presentation had many directions to go in this conversation. What I really loved is this what I would call poetic simplicity that you indeed have as a starting point, because it's such a beautiful approach where I've seen jugglers also incorporating new technology in the devices they juggle with, and I first started thinking your approach, how to explain, but you've done a wonderful job in explaining how you got through this. But the first question I think I wanted to ask is, there's so much poetic simplicity in there, but of course you work with, as many of you know, so much technology, and how do you start such? How do you combine all these elements and remain this simplicity for the audience?
It's always difficult to don't go in complexity, because complexity is always charming from the beginning. When you don't see the path, you can imagine that if you had something, it will be better, but it just will get more complex. And it's very difficult to not follow this path. But complexity has a cost, that is, it carries a lot of things with it, like bugs and troubles, and it's not always interesting, because making something interesting is it's a philosophical question. What is interesting? But it has to carry a meaning for the audience, and it has to be readable for the audience also. For me, complexity is like when you play piano and you push on this pedal that make the sound very resonating, it makes a lot of noise, but you don't hear anything. So I try to not be charmed by the complexity, but sometimes I fall inside, and on each project it's very difficult to create, and each project I feel like I should do another job because it's too hard, and it's too every time before the stage, every time before the first presentation of an installation, I'm completely desesperated by the complexity of the things. And I come to art through juggling in the streets. Before I was mathematician and computer scientist, but when I discovered that performing in the street with juggling gives me so much pleasure in a simplicity, and I try to stay connected to this. And I still go sometimes in the street to perform and see if I manage to catch people and tell something to the audience that is simple. So this is my way to stay connected with simplicity. This not forget this path from the street to the theater.
One of the projects you mentioned, Pixel, it's been touring for 14 years.
2014, and it was in November, so 11 years to be precise.
I'm very aware in this process you have many options to update the technology, to tweak with it, to adjust, to add or cut things. Is that the case for this project as well, or is it?
I don't really know, because we are on a dispute with a choreographer. So
Yes.
so I never saw the project. He's touring it.
Yeah.
He pay what he must pay to us, but we talk only with all lawyers.
Maybe a wider question. You explained how you worked as you created a duo with yourself backstage behind the Wacom tablet. With the technological developments, this could potentially be a job for an AI, or would you be interested in exploring these previous projects being taken over by new or updated by new technology, or?
Yes, it's a really interesting path, but what I like is when computer help to connect people and not to remove people. If it helps us to do this, I think it could be really interesting. I use a lot of AI actually to do my work, to program, I'm trying to connect directly LLM inside the software to explain in natural language what I would like Emotion to do. Emotion is the name of the software, and so I could say, for example, create some particles that make a cloud, and make it rain, and see it happen. But I don't think it could take initiative. Initiative is it could take the lead on what should be done.
So to clarify, this the software you developed that WERC came across Emotion is surely in a newer version, is still the basics of your software of your practice.
Absolutely.
Now.
Emotion is the software I developed for 20 years now, and it's like I try to find the English word for art brut. Do you know? No, this is not a good idea. When you develop something that is in your brain and it has no limits, and people find it's crazy, but there's a whole artistic movement about this, but it's called art brut in France. But this is kind of art brut. It's a bit naive, it's a bit utopic, but I try to do it. And Emotion was available for downloads for anybody, but I find it was too much connected to my artistic practice. So I stopped the distribution, but I continued the development. And it's still at the heart of all the project, and it's mutating on each project.
So it's a constant
development. And yesterday and today I made lots of things for the future project. But today I broke everything, and I was why don't it work anymore? And I said, how will I do a demo in live tonight? But fortunately, I managed to fix it 5 minutes before you came.
We're always open for conversation, for questions from the audience. It's you're a bit dark, but there's yes.
I have a question about what is the position of the music or composer in your art.
I will quickly repeat the question. It's the question about the position of the music, and the composer composition in art for the people online or watching it back later.
Position of the music is central, but it's not the main architecture. It helps us a lot for performance because it's shared breathing between the performer and the digital projection, because it can help to be together, the music. And another part that I see that is very important is that the sound can make the light more real, more tangible. Light is just photons that are excited and have a frequency. But the sound, it's real atoms that are moving. It's physical. And when you see something that makes noise, it makes it real. So when you see that a line is distorting, but it also makes sound, it makes it more real for the audience.
It's just one of the elements, also like time and yeah. But maybe what you've unpacked in the presentation as well is that you have many of these stages in development. Of course, from prototyping on small scale to also actually going into the theater space with performers to try out specific. Could you, in general, explain a bit of the process of when what's the moment you start sketching? What's the moment you bring in collaborators? Or
generally, there's no law to do this. It's intuitive. There's an intuition about something that could be developed, but usually I just make something like coding in my alone, and I see a movement that I like, and I say, oh, it could be maybe a support for an experiment with a dancer, and then we try it, and we found it amazing, but it was just an improvisation, and we never managed to redo it as good. So we start another idea, and usually it works like this, by accumulation of ideas that we are trying to find a path through the energy of the movement. And it's always improvisating, and it's like digital lutherie. Lutherie is the science to build instrument of music. English word for this, please. Yes, instrument builder. Instrument builder, but for visual projection. So one of my role is to build these instruments to play together.
But what I found, why I was trying to get my finger behind it, was really also because you explained that this software is this ongoing like brainchild of yours, or love project that you've been working on, and I can imagine you also programming, making adjustments for already anticipating on what performers could do. But I also see in the movements and in the interaction that there's this room for the beautiful, you being surprised, or these beautiful moments there as well. So I was trying to connect how that could, how that fits in. But it's nice to see, and I can imagine that it's so much because you're the programmer that you can leave room for this surprise as well.
I think what is helps me a lot is that I have an experience on stage, and I know what is it to be on stage, and I've been on stage for maybe 1,000 times. And it's very specific as an experience, because you can talk to a computer engineer about what you need, but he cannot understand precisely what it is to be on stage. So software made for art are not always suitable for live performance, because it's different, and this is why it's important to have this intuitive feeling about programming for live stage performance.
Yes.
So when did you, because in the beginning we saw that there was a dancer and you had to control the animations.
Yeah.
And now you can see that there's a live interaction between the audience. So what changed in between those steps? Was it pure technology, or?
No, it's because, yes, there's a part of technology. There was this reflection that people wanted to try it after seeing it on stage, and some of other bricks were to build the possibility in the software. And it was in 2010 I saw also installation from a circus artist called Johan Le Guilherme that helps me to understand that it's not because you're on stage that you cannot do installation. Even if it's different work, you can do both. And seeing the same thing as it's two sides of the same work. In fact, there's one you can see it on stage, and the other you can see it on installations. But it's the same work. And when I saw this, I understood that it was interesting. So we developed after many works on how to make things move automatically with sensors and different sensors. Maybe I can show the difference between digital puppetry and sensors. I will do.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I just remove. So we see the same thing if it works. Okay. So I will build a stage that is at the same dimension as the projector. Yeah, I adjust the screen size. Yes, it's a bit tricky to do it from scratch in live, but as a juggler, I always do things that are not, it's not a good idea. Then I create, maybe I can present some basics. The basic object is points. So here I put points with my mouse. But these points have a wave, and I can move them by applying forces to them. So I took a motion brush. A motion brush is a brush that puts forces on objects. In Photoshop, a brush puts colors on pixels. In this software, brush puts forces on objects. There's many different brushes. This one is exploding. I can change the forces or the size. And there's different kind of movement. This one is more like displace, not explode. And it's when you combine many different forces, you can build very complex movements. I will build a matrix of points. I connect them with a spring, and I ask to be drawn with lines. Up, here we are. I took back my motion brush, and it moved like a piece of fabric, maybe. And if I organize things well, I'm here, not in the light, but if I blow, the trackpad is not in the good. Voilà. You have seen it?
Yeah.
This is magic.
Yeah.
Okay, but we have another solution. I have a small LiDAR here. But can see my hand. You see, it's a point here. Well, and this is the part where I remove the copy video. And just a few seconds. Okay. don't work.
Oh, there. Eat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, it's not at a good size. Oh, of course. But why? Well, it's supposed to work, but how is it?
It's offset.
It worked earlier.
I don't know. Well, so this is the end of the. But you see it can work with time connections, with sensors, or with a human that make it move with more sensibilities.
The background. How much time do you put into the laws of physics or the laws of nature to be incorporated in the movement? Is that something you nerd on, or?
In fact, in my city, so I come from the city of Grenoble. It's a bit like Groningen in France. It's a small city with lots of students, and but not so small, but with many computer scientists and many researchers. And in this city, there was the people who invented physics model for computing. It was 50 years ago, and they made it. It was the first person who programmed software that simulates physics law to make animation, to make sound. And it was my teachers at the university. And also in my city, there's a lot of famous juggler. And there were all computer scientists. And it's strange, but I don't know the connection. And there's lots of, yeah.
Wow. Since you opened the software that's not open source available anymore, I'm very interested in the interface or some of the decisions you made. I might be the only one, but I have a feeling that I'm not. Could you guide us a little bit through?
Okay, so I put the copy screen so you see the same thing
I hope
as
Joachim
me.
doesn't get jealous and wants his hands on this as well.
Well, what I can do maybe is that I will restart the software to avoid bugs and maybe choose a file that I... So there's scripts to organize things in time, but it's not, you can trigger a script not in the sequentially, you can do in any order, but it creates a situation. My goal is to build situation with physics and relationships between informations and physics.
Yeah.
The goal of the software is to organize all these things with times. It don't takes, the goal of the software is movement and relation with the body, but not projecting. So this is why I work with Millumin as a software to project.
And so what I see is for sure the timeline. Since we talked about sound as well, is that triggered by scene, let's say, and then you connect certain adjustments to it, or is there also, how do you also have different ways to approach sound in a piece like this?
There's many ways to connect things. It Open Sound Control, OSC, is the main way to connect software for sharing informations. It's like MIDI, but with different kinds of informations. And for example, if you want, you can connect the movement of a brush or the movement of particle. You can receive a quantity of energy that you can treat in live, in Ableton Live, or generating a sound. Is it an answer to your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So just wanted to show this because it was my last development for the future project about organic movement, the most trying to find the most organic movement. This is what I like most, and I can play watching this for hours.
Yeah. There's one question that's completely different. You had this moment where you worked a lot with dancers, with performers, also practicing, trying it out quite a lot, and you at one point opened it up, developed the first installation. Which type of interaction surprised you more? The moment where blank audience walked into the installation, or like these brilliant surprises that you found in months of practicing?
Yeah, it's interesting to have both parts. Creating installations that are satisfying for the audience is really difficult because they never act as you thought of, and it's you can work for months if you don't try with a different audience regularly. You stay in your mind and it don't work at the end. It's really difficult, and it's also very difficult to organize things in for live performance, so that the movement of a dancer is not hidden by the projection, that everything exists and they are connected. This the two parts are difficult but are very interesting to work.
Does that mean with a performer you also search for a specific dancer or performer with a style that you... Yeah. It's, yes?
I'm curious because you are building your own instrument, but are you also the choreographer of dancer and musician and composer, the person who makes the music as well, or do you work together with others and at what moments during the process? Because you're constantly building your instrument, and then you have to start to learn how to play it, and you're creating things. All these different stages.
Yeah, it's like building your shoes while you are walking. It's
and it's terrible.
it's sometimes terrible, but you have a yes. I find that conceptually, it's important that every part is here during the creating process at the same time. The composer must be here during the rehearsal so his music is adapted. Either it could be just decorative. If we want that the projection, the performer, the music, the lights are together, they must be together during the creative process all along. And it's expensive because you have to pay everybody all the time, but it's necessary because either there's one of this part that is outside of the creative process and there's a risk it becomes very, very decorative.
And how do you organize it? Like, you plan a residency for a month or something, on one space, on one moment, and invite everybody at the same time? Or you build half of your instruments?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. Maybe I can... we have built with Claire the place to do this, and it's a huge studio where we don't depend on anybody, and we have built it from scratch. I can try to show you some picture, but first I will remove copy screen.
So you have the luxury to invite people to your playground. That's right?
Yeah, so I can invite all the audience, not the audience, all the participants on creation without depending on a theater that could. It's when we want to try something, we try something. We have all the video projector, all the materials, all the transparent screen, everything that is there, and it's like a small theater, but dedicated to creation.
Very luxurious, yes, that's beautiful.
Up. A few seconds. Well, I didn't prepare this question, so I'm okay. So this is the place in the south of France. It's in a country called La Drôme, and I know that in your language, Drôme is means dream.
Dream, yes.
And there's a lot of Dutch people during summer here because they thought it was the dreamland. And this is the theater we have built in the garden. And it's 12 by 15 by 9 meters high with all the rig necessary to prototype rapidly.
Wow.
And this is how we work. Sometimes we project on the space, sometimes on the ground, sometimes we just put here. This is when we were working on an augmented reality project, and there's also rooms for people to come and sleep, and very important, there's the river, and you can bath after walking. So I show this because it's part of a reflection. It's when you build your own tool, you cannot stop because it's amazing the power it has to shape your own tool, and this is a tool also, and it's part of a process. We want to design from scratch something that is very specific to our needs.
There's one thing about this tool, especially the software I'm returning to, that you've been working on for so many years. Is there a plan to potentially? Well, I can see, especially calling it an instrument, that many are you considering it to open it up again for people to at one point?
No, because unfortunately, building software for others is a completely different work than building your own tools. It means building a company to make support, to give support to the user. It means a lot of things about the operating system is constantly changing, and you must adapt. We have tried this for augmented reality app, and it's a nightmare to maintain. And when you have users that have paid for something, you are really relevant to them, and you must fix things. When you are your own user, it's not the same problems. It's your own problem. And I don't want the others to become problems for me. And this is why I stopped distributing and opening the source. It's because I was in a difficult situation where people were asking me how to do things, the same thing as me, and maybe taking my job that was giving me money without giving me money. It was really complicated to find a balance between the need to to earn your life and to do your job, the job you want to do. Because what I like is doing performance, is not answering mails.
Yeah. There's a couple of minutes. You had a question as well. So yeah.
I was just wondering, is there moving footage of the picture with the piano?
Is there? Yeah. This is my last performance. It was created 1 year ago, and I put in this performance all the things I love most: juggling and computers. And everything is done live, and I'm on stage manipulating the. But I have several pieces with a piano. There's 2 different pieces. One with another performer, and this one.
How wonderful that you also took the stage as performer here and with the visuals as well. That's nice touch. Are there more questions for the audience? Because we don't have. Yes.
Did
Yeah, sorry.
you ever swam in the sea with luminescent algae?
Sorry.
Did you ever swim in the sea with
Yes,
Yeah, with-
I love this experience. It really inspired me for some of the process.
Yes.
So you said you work, and I know of course you worked a little bit. You worked for a long time with your partner Claire. What was that process like? How do you collaborate with each other?
Claire is a graphic designer and scenograph. Scenograph.
Whatever,
It's
yeah.
okay for. It's a good word. Okay. And for a long time we have been collaborating, like ping pong playing. The idea was moving so fast between us that it was getting high very, very fast, and we had a lot of pleasure to do this. And concrete, more pragmatic, she was like strategist, and I was a tactician. She sees the whole dramaturgy, and I try to find all the parts that could bring this strategy to life. And we were not on the same frequency. In fact, she's long term, I was short term, and we were working like this.
Talking in past tense. You're saying she was. Are you no longer?
Yeah, we are not no more associated. We have kids together, but we are no more together.
Okay.
We are separated.
Very important. Is there some part of the of his practice that we didn't touch upon that you are eager to learn more about, even the slightest approach to things? Yes.
With the piano, how was it displayed? Was the audience there in the room?
Can you repeat the
question
for
is
the record and so I understand
it's
better.
about the setup of the piece with the piano. How was it performed? Were the audience in the space around it, or how did it work?
So this setup was the result of many compromise. I wanted to do a piece with music, and in music tour you must do show that comes and all the setup is done the same day as the performance. You cannot come the day before. So it means for us that you cannot bring complex scenography, you cannot bring tulle or with precise lighting. This is why I decided to project on the ground, because the piano is connected to the images. So it's basically it's two projectors that make these huge images. And just a few lights, and we arrive in 4 hours after we can play. And the audience can be 360 around, but we have not done it like this for the moments. We have done it outside in open air theater, but not in 360. But I would love to perform it in a 360.
It's time. I have the job to thank Adrien. Feel free to grab him over drinks because he will stay around. Do look at the merchandise table, or especially I call it the merchandise table, but also at the book to browse through. And I think I'm giving the mic to Joachim because he has some announcements. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. I have some quick announcements. You can either feel free to. Isha, can you come with the laptop, please? Because I'm gonna make it quick. Then we can grab some drinks. Because we have a couple of things that we want to share, and I also have some notes that I don't have to forget. And I'm gonna see what's the first thing that Isha has. Great. Yes, the first thing on 30th of January, we have an opening of our own first organized exhibition. It's at the AMG Graansilo here in the city with an interactive graffiti piece, an entire installation. It's super immersive. You can walk around it. It's open for like a month. Just keep it in mind. We'll be spamming with you for this for like a long time. But the 30th of January, Air Graffiti. Next slide, please. Awesome. Yes. Also, it's an ongoing thing. It's at the forum. We have this thing that it's called WERC Portal, where you can send in your own 1-minute video or animation or digital artwork, and it will be shown on the big screen there every hour, on the hour, or now there's some else going, but it'll be shown on the big screen every day. Yes. Next slide, please. And of course, the next artist talk will be on the 20th of February with an Italian collective duo called Spime, who do a lot with AI and a lot with music, and it's all very dirty and it's quite nasty. So please come and join. I also have to reiterate the merch table. If you want to buy something and don't have cash, you have to tap Adrien on the shoulder and say, "Show me your QR code." Are there anything else that I need to show that's really important? Well, there's glühwein spritz. I need to tell that as well. That was important apparently that I tell that. Thank you very much, and let's grab a drink.